Page 401, lesson 7.4 is on finding distance in the coordinate plane. So we're going to be talking about how we can use the Pythagorean theorem to find the distance between 2 points. So if you look on 401, Thomas and Jim are outside the haunted castle ride and want to get to the clown tent in time for the next show. So how can you represent the starred locations on a coordinate plane? Well, basically we could make this just be our origin here and then think about how we go from there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 4, 1 would be the clown tent, and then 1 over 1 and up 3. So 1, 3 would be the haunted castle ride. So if you want to graph those here, we could do that. And then part B, Jim says the marked yellow paths show the shortest path to the tent. Write an expression to represent this and find the distance Jim walks from the haunted mansion to the clown tent. So the yellow paths, it may be just as well to go back to the picture here. The yellow paths, if we follow along here and here, is what it's saying. So if you think about that, just count how many blocks they go. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks altogether, 5 grid squares. And the grid squares are 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, and it's 500 feet for each one. So 500 feet, if we have 5 of those, that would be 2,500 feet. What we're going to be talking about as we go through the lesson here is that actually, in theory, just following the yellow line there would not be the quickest way to get there, depending on, if there's houses in the way or different things, obstacles. If there's no obstacles and we can go whatever way we want, there's actually a quicker way than following the yellow path. So example 1 is a continuation. So Thomas says walking along a straight path from the haunted mansion to the clown tent is a shorter path. How can you use Pythagorean theorem to determine whether he's correct? Okay, so the idea is instead of following the yellow path, instead of doing that, we can actually just go in a straight line. Okay, assuming there's no obstacles there, that would actually be a quicker route. So we can do this kind of using the idea we had 3 squares and 2 squares. That's a right triangle, and we're trying to find the hypotenuse. Or what the book does, they kind of just flip this thing down. So they kind of look at this triangle here. It's still the same triangle, so it really doesn't matter. You can see what they did here. Okay, it's still 2 by 3. And we're trying to find the hypotenuse. So if we put in the 2 and the 3, 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9. We add those together is 13. And then if we do the square root plus or minus, we know a negative answer can't make sense because it's a distance. So that would be square root of 13. And if you do that on your calculator, that comes out to about 3.61. About 3.61 squares versus 5 squares. And we could find exactly what distance that is. If 1 centimeter is 500 feet, we have 3.61 centimeters. So proportion here, multiplied by 3.61. And that would be about 1,805 feet. And that's less than 2,500 feet that we found in the previous example. So if you look at the try it, they want us to find the points between A and B. So between A and B, first of all, if we want to just draw a line between those two, and then we can create a right triangle. This is one way to create a right triangle. Make sure when you're doing these problems that they're just going by ones and they're not going by something else, like 2s or 5s or 100s. They are going by ones here, so you can see that's 2 squares by 2 squares. And so then we could just use our Pythagorean theorem, just like we've done before. We're trying to find the hypotenuse. So 2 squared is 4, 2 squared is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8. And then we need to take the square root. Can't be negative. And if you work that out, they round it off here. It says it's about how many units. They went to the nearest hundredth. I'll try to make sure to tell you how accurate your answer should be, but they did do hundredths here instead of tenths. And we don't know if those are centimeters or what they are, so we'll just say it's about 2.83 units from A to B. Look at example 2. We're doing something similar, except here they're asking us to find the perimeter of that triangle, so that would be the distance around all 3 sides of the triangle. Again, on the graph they are going by ones, so we can count the squares. From A to C is 5 squares, from B to C is 3 squares, and then we're trying to find from A to B what that distance is. So 3 and 5 are the legs of the triangle. For some reason the book kind of switched the formula around here. It's nothing wrong with it, it's just kind of confusing, I think. So normally we do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 5 squared is 25, 3 squared is 9. Add those together is 34. Take the square root, plus or minus, and then we can't have a negative answer. So nearest hundredth, that would be about 5.83 units. We're wanting to find the perimeter, so we need to add all 3 sides together. So 5 plus 3 plus 5.83 is 13.83. So the perimeter is about 13.83 units. So on the try it, we're doing the same thing. The only difference is they didn't give us a graph. So if you were doing this problem, you would probably want to either get graph paper or just kind of sketch out a graph of what's happening here. Sketch out a graph, so 2, 5, we could just sketch it out like this if you want. 5, -1, and 2, -1. So this is what our graph is looking like. It might be easier on graph paper to tell how many squares you have in between each thing. But this would be 3 units, and this would be 6 units. And we have to find that hypotenuse again. So 3 and 6 are the legs, trying to find the hypotenuse. 3 squared is 9, 6 squared is 36. Add those together is 45. And then take the square root. And that comes out to be about 6.71 if we go to the nearest hundredth like they have been. Just remember that's not our final answer. We have to find the perimeter here, so we have a 6.71. We have a 3 and we have a 6. Make sure you line up your decimal points when you're adding those together. And then that would be 15.71 units about. Example 3, we are going to skip for right now. This is just a little bit more involved than I think we need to deal with at this point. Look at the do you know how number 4. They want us to find the distance between C and D and round to the nearest hundredth. So from C to D, we could draw a line between those. Since it's going at an angle here, we can make a right triangle. There would be 3 units there and 1 unit there. And then we're trying to find the distance. So we're trying to find the hypotenuse again. So 1 and 3 are our legs of the triangle. 1 squared is 1, 3 squared is 9, 1 plus 9 is 10. Take the square root, and it says nearest hundredth. This time they finally tell us how to round that. So if you work that out, that would come out to be about 3.16 units. And then if you look at number 5, they want us to find the perimeter. So we have to be careful with this. CDE, that's not what we just did. So CDE is this triangle. So we just found this length is 3.16 units approximately. We know from D to E, if you just count the squares, that goes straight across. That would be 4. We still need to find what it is from C to E. So from C to E, if you look at this, think of this red triangle here. And then what you got to watch, this 4 is this whole distance here. So we've got a 3, and then this is actually another 3. So kind of just making sure you can see what we're talking about here. This is 3 and this is 3. And then we're trying to find this other distance. I'll just do D because we already did C. So the legs are both 3. So 3 squared is 9, 3 squared is 9, 9 plus 9 is 18. And then we can do the square root of 18. Square root of 18 comes out to about 4.24. Okay, so we have 4.24 here, and then we had 4 along the bottom and a 3.16. So we're just going to be adding those together. So 4.24, 3.16, and 4. And if you add those together, that would be about 11.40 units if you want. Okay. Number 6 kind of again gets into things a little more complicated than what we need to at this point, I think. Look at workbook page 95. Number 2, they want us to find the perimeter of this triangle. So going across the bottom from Y to Z is a distance of 6. So we need to figure out from X to Y and from Y to Z. We know X to Z. Okay, so that was 6 all the way across here. So what we can do to find one of these distances, we can just create a triangle. Create a right triangle. This is 3, this is 3. And then actually on the other one, if you'll notice, it's going to be the same. We've got a 3 and 3. So those other two sides are going to be the same length as each other. So we have legs of 3. We're trying to find the hypotenuse. Okay, so that would be square root of 18. A way of doing this, if you want to be more precise, we could say we have 6 plus the square root of 18 plus the square root of 18. Add them together and then round. One thing to watch if you're typing this in your calculator, it's going to put a parenthesis here. You need to put an end parenthesis so that it knows that that's the end of what you want under your square root. Okay, so anyway, if you type that in, work that out, you should get about 14.49 units. And then number 3, it says to determine whether the triangle is equilateral, isosceles, or scalene. So that's just based off of how many sides are the same length. So we said 2 of the sides had square root of 18 for their length. So since 2 sides are the same, this would be an isosceles triangle. So this gives you an idea of how to find distance in the coordinate plane. Have a good day.